What is up, everybody? It is your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different, back with another video, this time with a mixing video. And I guess you guys want to know, how can you make your track sound better or louder or hit harder in smaller speakers such as laptops, cell phones, and of course the car. I'm gonna teach you guys some tricks you can use to make your 808s and kicks actually hit harder. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So the question is, like, how do I make my stuff sound good in, the car, the headphones, the smaller speakers, the iPods, the iPhones, the Androids, stuff like that? How can I make it sound good? Well, one thing you gotta understand, that those systems for cell phones and computer speakers have very small speakers in them, so they're not going to be able to reproduce bass as good as, like, say, your studio monitors or a subwoofer or anything like that. The bigger the cone or the bigger the driver, the more sound you get, which means the more bass you can get, the more signal you can push, and more SPL you can push, and pretty much dBs you can push, and all that. More sound pressure you can move, which means air, pretty much, because that's all sound. Sound is just air moving back and forth. That's it. So what we can do is trick those systems, or trick people to think that they're actually listening to more bass like that. One thing that I like to do with my 808s and kicks and stuff like that is to add distortion. Distortion is the key to doing that. Like, you add just a little bit of saturation, or whatever you want to call it, harmonic distortion. It will pretty much let people be able to hear the bass still within smaller speakers such as laptops, cell phones, stuff like that. So let's check out this beat real quick. I'm actually going to turn off, I'm gonna turn off the processing so you can hear what it sounds like with no processing. Then I'll show you what I usually do when it comes to mixing my 808s and like that to make it hit harder in smaller speakers. So now, you probably couldn't even hear the bass. You probably couldn't hear the bass at all because I don't have no processing in it. It's just a basic sound bass, whatever. But once I add my processing, you'll be able to hear it pretty clear. So here we go. So let's add my process, and now listen to the bass. You're able to hear it nice and clear that time. Now, a lot of you guys already do this. Some of you go too far. Some of you guys don't even do this at all. So hopefully this will help. But okay, so let's just listen to the bass by itself. This is what it sounds like with no processing on it. I'll boost a little bit. And now let's add my processing back on it. Now, what did I do? Two things: distortion, EQ. That is all you need. So I'm using Fruity Fast Distortion, one of my favorite, quickest distortion plugins. You can use the Capitator, whatever you want to use. I like Fruity Fast Distortion because it's a stock plugin, and it sounds the way I want it to. It's basically that trap kind of distortion. So, and I use the EQ to EQ the sounds down. So I'm gonna show you what it look like without the process. So we're just gonna play all the range full, and then just the distortion. So this is what it sounds like. Now, if I turn the distortion off, watch the EQ and the spectroscope right here. That's gonna show. Let me make the EQ bigger for those who can't see, because I know some of you guys are blind out there. So before, after. So basically what we're doing is adding harmonics into this upper region, where the speakers can produce. They can pretty much, the smaller speakers can produce the mids and highs fairly well. They just can't produce the lows. So by adding harmonics or distortion into the upper frequency, people can still hear the bass or follow the bass line that's inside of your music. So now, like I said, you can pretty much, the distortion is going to be to taste. Like, however you want to do your distortion, you can copy my settings. I don't care. Do it wherever you want to as far as distort. Distort it the way you want to. So I'm going to distort it first. So now I have all these harmonics. I'm going to filter some of them out. So and I just do that for the beat purpose. Like, you don't have to filter them out. You can keep it all the way up and have just all the harmonics playing. It's cool with me. That's your choice, and it's a creative choice to do that. And then, you can boost some of these other frequencies as well to kind of help it out. So Now, what that's going to allow to do is going to allow the speakers, the smaller speakers, to produce that bass, and not really produce the bass as the low frequencies, but able for people to follow along with the bass and at least tell that it has some bass in it. You know what I'm saying? So it will hit harder in, like I said, cell phones, small laptop speakers, cheap little Walmart speakers, stuff of that nature that you're trying to, because you want your music to sound good on everything. And, you don't want just to sound good in the studio, because what's the point of that? Not everybody has a nice studio. So you want to make it to where everybody can enjoy your music. Now, when we play with the beat, when you go back to the beat, we'll just detach this real quick, get it out of my face, play it back with the beat, you get. And you can do the same thing to your kick drum also to help it punch through a little bit. You can add, some distortion up into the kick drum if you want, but really you want to add to that sub and 808s to make it hit hard and make it be sound or heard in any, medium that people are listening to. Because like I said, nowadays, people listen to it on the cell phones, on the go, or laptop speakers. So with that being said, quick and easy little mixing trip. Hopefully this will help you guys, make your stuff hit hard and all that, and just give you some creative ideas. A lot of you guys, like I said, already distort your 808s, so you're probably fine. But the people who never really experimented with distortion in their 808s, give it a try. It will help. If it's too much distortion, just filter it out till it sounds right to you. But, by adding those harmonics, it'll be able to be heard in smaller speakers, laptops, and cell phones and cars and all that good stuff that you guys are trying to make your stuff sound good, so you sound that much more professional. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this little quick mix tip. With that being said, y'all know who it is. Your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Not motivated by the money, but the like, comments, subscribes, and views. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.